Why you'll regret buying property in the West. At some point, we were all told the same thing. Get a good job, save some money, put it into a house, property always goes up. That's the path. That's how you get ahead. But that story hasn't aged well, because what no one else tells you in the West is that you don't really own anything. You borrow it under a contract inside a system that's quietly working against you. You don't own your land, the government does. You don't control your taxes. They rise without warning. And when things get tight, they won't hesitate to use your home as a source of revenue. Whether it's through capital gains, inheritance tax, wealth taxes, rent controls, or planning restrictions, it's not ownership, it's a leash. And maybe 10 years ago, you could pretend that didn't matter, but not now. We're watching cities collapse under the weight of their own living costs. Mortgage rates doubling, crime rising, tenants protected over landlords, rules changing overnight. And what you thought was an asset starts to feel more like a liability. Property isn't passive anymore. It's not simple. It's not safe. It's a contract with a state that's incentivized to bleed you slowly. And when that state is drowning in debt, your home becomes one of the first things on the table. Because you can't hide a house, you can't move it, and you can't exit fast when the market turns. You're locked in. Maybe you're okay with that. Maybe you genuinely like the place and plan to stay long term. But for a lot of people, especially those building location freedom, the maths doesn't work anymore. Why would you park 6 figures into a fixed asset you can't touch in a country that punishes ownership in a market driven by interest rates and election cycles? People still talk about property like it's guaranteed passive income. But what's passive about emergency repairs, tenant disputes, new tax bills, and a weakening currency? If you're buying for lifestyle, fair enough. But buying because that's what everyone else does, that's not enough anymore. The realization creeps up slowly. First it's a gut feeling, then you hear stories, then it happens to you, and eventually you see it clearly. This model of work, save, buy, hold doesn't create freedom, it creates exposure. So you start asking questions differently. Where does my capital actually get treated well? Where can I live or invest without feeling like the government sees me as an open tab? Where can I still own something that gives me control? You stop thinking like a homeowner and you start thinking like someone who wants real leverage, real optionality. Once that switch flips, it's hard to go back. You stop looking for a place to settle, you start looking for places to grow.